Well, he was 50 minutes ago, and now we've got a second statement from the palace from yet another spokesman, probably a different spokesman, saying he's not going to stay. Welcome back to Salty Island, probably known internationally now as the land of confusion. And this just shows you how unstructured and hierarchical the British non-working royal family really is. None of the people that work there seem to know what the heck's going on. They can't distinguish between the truth, a fact, and an absolute fallacy or a lie. It's just utter BS. And what does this make the UK look like on the international stage? They won't give Harry security, they'll give Prince Andrew security. All over the globe, people are talking about the lack of parity in this family and why some people are on the inside and some people are definitely on the outside. And it just comes down to the fact we all know he married Meghan, she's a biracial woman. The British royal family didn't like it. They'll do anything to make Harry and Meghan look silly. Unfortunately, they forge careers. They turn up, do good, forging careers, building businesses, building a family, showing everybody in the world, not just the royal family, how life should be lived. Embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing for the UK on a wholesale level.
There are moments when a story becomes bigger than the people involved. It becomes a story about credibility, leadership, and public confidence. And that's exactly what happened after conflicting messages emerged regarding Prince Harry's plans. When official statements appear to contradict one another, people naturally begin asking questions, not because they're looking for drama, but because consistency matters. If those responsible for communicating with the public can't keep their message straight, what does that say about the decision-making behind the scenes? Today, I want to look beyond the headlines and analyse what this latest episode really tells us. Because I don't think this is simply about one royal visit. I think it reflects a much bigger issue that has followed Harry and Meghan for years. Let's get into it. One thing I've learned from following royal news is that perception matters almost as much as reality. Institutions spend decades building trust, but trust can be damaged surprisingly quickly when communication becomes inconsistent. According to the discussion, different palace representatives appeared to give conflicting information about Harry's plans. Whether that resulted from changing circumstances, poor internal coordination, or simple miscommunication, it created confusion. And confusion always leaves room for speculation. In today's digital age, stories move across the world within minutes. Every contradiction is analysed, every statement is compared, every omission becomes another headline. That isn't just inconvenient, it can become a public relations problem. People begin asking whether everyone inside the institution is actually working from the same playbook. This is where I think the conversation becomes much more interesting. For years we've heard that the royal family operates with military precision. Everything is supposedly planned months ahead. Every appearance is carefully coordinated. Every public statement is scrutinized. So when messaging appears inconsistent, it naturally catches people's attention because it doesn't fit the image that has been presented for generations. Whether the confusion is significant or relatively minor, the optics are difficult to ignore. Public confidence isn't built only through ceremonies and tradition. It's also built through clear communication. Now, let's address the issue that continues to dominate discussions whenever Prince Harry visits the United Kingdom. Security. This remains one of the most debated subjects surrounding Harry since he stepped back from royal duties. Supporters argue that regardless of his current role, Harry's profile, military service, and lifelong public visibility create unique security considerations. Others believe that stepping away from official duties inevitably changed the arrangements that once applied to him. Those are very different viewpoints, and they continue to divide public opinion. What cannot be denied is that security has become one of the defining issues shaping Harry's relationship with the UK. Every planned visit seems to bring the discussion back into focus. Something else deserves attention. Many observers continue comparing Harry's situation with that of other members of the royal family. Whenever comparisons are made, people naturally ask whether everyone is being treated consistently. Fairness matters, not only within families but within institutions. Even when there are legal or administrative reasons behind different decisions, the public often evaluates what they see rather than the detailed explanations behind the scenes. That is why transparency becomes so important. People may disagree with a decision, but they're often more willing to accept it if they understand how it was reached. When explanations remain unclear, speculation quickly fills the gap. I also think it's worth remembering something that often gets overlooked. Harry and Meghan have spent several years building lives outside the traditional royal structure. Instead of relying on royal funding, they've pursued business ventures, media projects, charitable initiatives, and philanthropic work. Whether someone supports them or not, it's difficult to argue that they've simply disappeared. They've continued creating projects, supporting causes they believe in, and raising their family while navigating an extraordinary level of public scrutiny. That doesn't mean every project has been universally praised. It simply means they have continued moving forward. And that resilience is something many people recognize. One aspect that fascinates me is how differently Harry and Meghan are viewed depending on where you are in the world. In Britain, discussions often become highly polarised. In many other countries, people see them through a very different lens. International audiences frequently focus more on their charitable work, mental health advocacy, veterans' initiatives, and media projects than on palace politics. That contrast illustrates how public narratives are shaped. Different media environments emphasise different stories. As viewers, we benefit from looking at multiple perspectives before reaching conclusions. Another thing I've noticed is that Harry and Meghan seem to have become symbols in a broader conversation. For some people, they represent independence. For others, they represent disruption. Some see courage, others see controversy. But regardless of where anyone stands, it's remarkable how much attention follows almost every move they make. That level of public interest suggests this story resonates far beyond royal headlines. People are really debating questions about family, loyalty, privacy, institutional change, and the pressures of life in the public eye. If palace communications continue to produce mixed messages, I believe the institution risks distracting attention from the work it hopes to highlight. Instead of conversations focusing on charitable events or public service, the headlines become about confusion. That's not ideal for anyone involved. Clear communication doesn't eliminate criticism, but it does reduce uncertainty, and uncertainty often fuels even more speculation. As for Harry, I think his actions over recent years suggest someone determined to define his own path. He has repeatedly emphasised causes such as veterans' welfare, mental health, conservation, and support for communities. Those priorities have remained remarkably consistent despite ongoing public controversy. Whether people agree with every decision he's made or not, consistency in purpose is something many observers acknowledge. The same applies to Meghan. Few public figures have experienced the level of scrutiny she has faced over the past several years. Yet she continues pursuing projects she believes in while supporting charitable initiatives and raising her children alongside Harry. Supporters view that as resilience. Critics may disagree, but resilience itself is difficult to ignore. Ultimately, I think this latest episode reminds us of something very simple. Public trust is strengthened through clarity. When messages change rapidly or appear inconsistent, people naturally begin asking questions. Those questions don't necessarily come from hostility. Often they come from a desire for transparency. And in today's world, transparency has become one of the most valuable assets any public institution can possess. But those are my thoughts. Now I'd genuinely like to hear yours. Do you think this latest confusion was simply an administrative mix-up? Or do you believe it reflects deeper communication challenges within the institution? Share your perspective respectfully in the comments below. If you enjoyed this analysis and want more thoughtful discussions on the latest royal developments, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. And if you'd like to help support the channel, you can also use the feature. Your support helps us continue producing thoughtful, in-depth content like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.